Hello. Welcome to a historical adventure. If you think the Olympics have always had colored lights, television, and gold medals, well, you'd be wrong. This is Olympia, and it all started with this man, Zeus, god of gods, the big boss, the one who had a thunderbolt in his hand, and anyone who bothered him. Boom! Legend has it that Zeus defeated his father, Kronos, and then said, "Now that I am the president, it is time to start a sports festival." And this is how the idea of the Olympics was born. All right. The Olympics weren't just about sports. One day, King Ephto, exhausted from endless wars, went to the Oracle of Delphi and said, "Oh, wise oracle, find a way to bring peace." Ephto wasn't alone. Two other kings, Lycurgus and Cleisthenes, joined him, and together they signed a pact. No wars during the games. From that moment on, people could travel to Olympia without fear of war and enjoy the games in peace. And that's how the Olympic truce was born. A special time when the world stopped fighting and started competing instead. But this wasn't just a simple decision. To ensure the truce lasted, representatives from different cities carved the agreement into sacred stone. The symbols of the truce were the olive branch and the sacred flame, spreading the message of peace everywhere. Early Olympic competitions are very simple. At first, it was just a running race, but then wrestling, boxing, discus throw, and even chariot racing was added. Indeed, you didn't know this, but Greek athletes are always naked. They said that they have more freedom this way. And what was the prize? A crown of olive leaves, no gold, no money, just a green crown. But at that time, she was very proud to become a champion. Everything was great until the Romans. Little by little, the matches got out of that sacred state and turned into a glamorous show. And after a while, Theodosius said, "Olympics must be closed." And so the Olympics ended. Without competitions, Olympia was forgotten. Temples were destroyed, statues fell, and there was no more running and discus throwing. Centuries passed and there was no news of the Olympics. The stadiums are deserted, the athletes are scattered, and here in Olympia, only the sound of the wind blows. But the story is not over yet, because years later, someone came and brought the Olympics back to life, and it was none other than a Frenchman named Pierre de Coubertin, who said, "Hey, why don't we hold the Olympics again?" And this was the spark of a sports revolution. But it was not easy to convince others. Coubertin gave a speech, held a meeting, even drew a plan for a modern Olympics. Coubertin's idea finally worked, and the first modern Olympics were held here, to be held in Athens, where it all started. And finally, in 1896, the first modern Olympics were held in Athens. Athletes came from different countries, various competitions were held, and the old tradition was revived. And it was here that the famous flag with 5 colored rings was introduced, a symbol of the 5 continents of the world coming together in a global competition. One of the most attractive parts of the modern Olympics is the Olympic torch. This torch will be lit from Olympia and will be carried to the venue of the games. This ceremony is somehow magical. They light a fire that symbolizes the spirit of the Olympics. Now that we've learned everything about the Olympic torch, it's time to get involved. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, time to run. Well, guys, this was the winding history of the Olympics. Now that you know, what do you think? Wait for the next part. This story continues. Bye!